What is release management? It's a process of packaging, scheduling, and approving our software deployments. Ideally, this is an automated process, though often a human is involved in this change process. Not always, depends on you, but usually. We may have a human or a group of people that have to approve the deployment, though we try to have the actual execution of each step of the deployment handled in an automated fashion by a machine. There could be times a human is involved to actually take some action, but we try to avoid that. We also want the process to be the same between all environments, though we may have variables or tokens that are different in each environment because we have different configuration options or servers or different things. We want this to be the same because it allows us to practice our deployment in each environment, from development to integration to QA to UAT to staging to production. One of the big inefficiencies of the traditional DBA job is trying to spend all this time prepping a release of database changes. I've been involved in large releases where we have months and months of database changes bundled up, and it took a week or two of time to actually organize these changes, put them in a script, test the deployments, and just complete the entire process while you're worrying the entire time you've forgotten one critical thing. You've got so much change taking place, it's difficult to lose track of what's going on. Lots of DBAs go through similar exercises, which not only create risk, but they create stress and fear over the entire release process. And that fear causes everybody to try to delay deployments. We want to do them fewer and fewer often because we know they're a problem. They require a lot of effort. As a result, we stack up more and more changes into every deployment. This process often snowballs until we only release large batches of changes. And once we do that, we've created lots of risk in our system. We often find that if we make a lot of changes, we spend a lot of time building the package to release it. And then if we have to correct problems, it takes more time and we delay development. A lot of times this is because the operations people don't know why the deployment didn't work because it was custom built for that time. And then we have to bring developers in to help complete the process, figure out what was deployed, what was not deployed, and then that just slows the entire software development pipeline down. And then we repeat that over and over again because everybody's afraid of problems in the next release. So we delay as long as we can, which is a normal human response. It's what we expect. But when we do this, more changes stack up for the next release and more time is taken. Now this continues until we rarely release, and we often have problems. And studies of companies across the years have shown that this is a pattern that's repeated over and over and over again. Even if we don't take more time between releases, there's a huge amount of stress. And what happens is we try to then make fewer changes if we're on a set schedule. In DevOps, we want to release more often. Not because we want to just throw more code out there, but we want to make smaller changes. And when we make smaller changes, typically they're less risky. Not always true with the database, but that's the idea. That's what we want to try to do. We want most of our changes to be small and less risky. We also want to get practice releasing changes because that gives us confidence we can make those changes when we need to. We know how to release each change. The process is scripted. We send changes to downstream environments more often, and we get comfortable. There are a few benefits here. We may get the chance to release more changes, but that's really not the important benefit. Really, the best part of the DevOps process is what we learn. We learn what works and what doesn't work. We learn what our customers like and what they don't. We don't spend months implementing something like a notification queue for backlogs if our customers decide early on that this isn't useful, or they decide they'd rather have some other option like more discount options for their sales. We release often, we get feedback often from our customers, we end up building the software they want. And as Donovan Brown said in the beginning of this course, we end up delivering more value to the customer.